Robin Miller, RACER.com, Paul Fanner, cameraman extreme, Mike Cobb, president of the SCCA. You took this job a few months ago, and you're already at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. From my standpoint, you've made it already, brother, because it doesn't get any better than the Mecca of speed. Just tell me, was it your idea? Let's go try the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Did that get you elected? Did you fall and hit your head? Tell us the process.
Well, there's a lot to unpack in that. So, no, it wasn't my idea to come to Indy, but I'm really glad it was a collective idea to come to Indy, because there's nothing like being at the motorsports capital of the world to celebrate the SCCA National Championship runoffs. But, you know, I have to back up a little bit, because this whole month is a runoff month for us, because it started early September with the Solo Nationals, the Pro Solo finale.
Which is what you came from.
Well, I still run it, although I am going to try to get my license, and I'm going to try to get in a car, and hopefully there'll be other cars on the track when I'm running, and hopefully we'll all be insured. But no, so I'm going to do that. And actually, I was test fitting in an SRF3 yesterday. Lee Hill, our chairman, volunteered his car for a quick test fitting. So I'm either going to have to lose a lot of weight, or Lee's going to have to gain some weight, so this will work out. But no, it's been a great month. Actually, when you slow down and look at things, this will be the largest month from a participation standpoint in SCCA history from a national championship standpoint. We had over 1,300 people at Lincoln on 100 acres of concrete running 3 events. We'll have close to 1,000 cars driving at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway this weekend. We've got over almost 600 workers, just chiefs, stewards, volunteers running this event, and that doesn't include the great crew in the yellow shirts that I call them, the IMS team here. So, you know, you've heard the adage, it takes a village. It's certainly taken a village, but so far, I'm hearing great reviews on the course, on the competition, on the weather, beautiful Indiana weather, and how the thing is being run. And really, that's, at the end of the day, this is about delivering an experience, a motorsports experience, and that's what we're really focused on.
We always think of the SCCA, I always think of Road Atlanta and Mid-Ohio and the traditional places that they had the runoffs, and what a big deal it was to be the Formula Ford champ or the Formula 5000 champ, because a lot of those guys migrated to IndyCar racing. But when this idea came up and your people all got together, was it the idea like, if we could pull this off one time, and I think so many people had to get, that's when we first heard you had like 1,100 entries or something, because nobody wanted to miss it. So that's the hook right away. Since a lot of these guys have been here since Monday, and just talking to them, it seems like they feel like it's all well worth the money they spent.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, it is. I know it's there's no form of racing that's ever affordable, but it is a pretty good value for the money to be able to run on this track. And really, what we're trying to do is make sure the whole thing, cradle to grave, from registration to a paddock to grid to being on track, making sure you get as much time as possible on track, that the whole experience is really the best experience that we can deliver, because that's what we're here to do.
When you look at this, the track is so perfect for all these classes because it's wide enough, it's smooth. There's all kinds of the IndyCar race. There's a couple places you can park, or you can pass. Excuse me. There's about 9 places I can see here to pass. And have you got that feedback yet from the competitors? Yeah,
I've received the feedback. Plus, whenever I'm not doing this, I'm sneaking out and going to get on a hill or a berm or a corner. I actually worked corner 6A. Where am I? Today's Thursday, so it must have been Tuesday. I worked 6A. Had great coaches. Thanks, Dave and Bob, for coaching me. I threw a flag, hopefully the right flag at the right time in the right manner, but nothing like seeing it up close and personal, right? So I think the course is great. It's got a good mix of speed and agility kind of mixed in it. My favorite spot is probably over in 7 when you get into the S's off the back straight over there. Whether you're an agile car, a light car, a speed car, or a ground pounder, there's a lot of action and a little tail wiggling going into 7A when people are hitting the brakes. So I like the track overall. I think it's pretty balanced.
So let me get this right. You had 600 people drive here from all over the place to help you put this race on.
To work. To volunteer. To work on a corner. Yeah.
It's unbelievable to me. I was talking to Simon Pagenaud about this in the last IndyCar race, the finale, and I said, think about how many people it takes to put on a race. And this is a good example because they do it because they love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, the context for me, and again, not coming from club racing, but attending multiple club races, attending IMSA, Formula One, Indy, the whole ball of wax, and having gone to several runoffs just as a spectator, you get a totally different view when you're trying to operate and organize and execute one of these things. The way I look at it is, how many cars are in Indy? What's the field for Indy? Is it 30? Okay, 33 cars.
Sadly, it used to be 53. Go ahead. That's another
So it's 33 cars, and I checked Motorsport Reg today when saw 984 cars registered. Everything's more complex when you have a delta from 33 to 984, whether it's parking them in paddock, whether it's getting them all through grid, whether it's getting them all teched, whether it's watching them around the track and make sure they get home safely, start to finish, trying to make sure they have a good experience, doing worker parties, and I mean the whole ball of wax. Everything is bigger. There's no way you rehearse for an event. And that's really kind of where we are now. This is no longer a national championship runoff, which is hugely important, and the reason we're here. It's also an event. And marrying both of those and really not having a whole lot of experience with things of this scale, I'm proud of everybody who's involved, because I think it's been a very collaborative and collective win for us, and I'm excited. This is just through qualifying, so I can't wait to see what the racing looks like on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
If everything goes well, and it looks like it's certainly going well, is this something we could see you guys doing once a decade, once every 5 years? Too early to talk about?
That's a great question. I mean, we don't have a defined plan in terms of when we might return. I mean, let's face it, you know, if we're really honest, I think subscription is heavy here, because this is a bucket list item. I mean, if I had my license, you know, I'd be finding a way to get up here, even if I was in the last chance qualifier, which is coming up in a minute, and you're going to have to pry me away from here for me to watch that, because there's going to be a lot of folks fighting for those last 12 seats. What we're trying to do right now with the runoffs is move it around the country so that folks have, I don't want to say an equal chance to participate, so that you're not always asking the same group to make a long haul from point A to point B, right? And I think what we're learning as we do that is it grows a higher tide of participation in club racing and in the runoffs, and ultimately that's the end game. Get more people involved with their cars, having more fun. That's the SCCA way.
All right, Michael, we wish you success and hell of a job so far. We hope you get your license. You know, Fanner used to race. He can sign off for you. He could be your, like, driver instructor.
Well, you know, when I was at the Solo Nationals, we had a shifter cart challenge. I had a challenge with another gentleman who'd never been in a shifter cart, so maybe I'm kind of sniffing a Formula Ford challenge coming up here between me and Fanner. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys, Kevin Cogan, he schooled Kevin Cogan back in the 80s, so Fanner can handle it. Well, he's a little shaky now, but not behind the camera.
I might need some coaching. Are you signing up for coaching?
I'll sign up to coach you, brother.
There you go. Bring it on.